Hey, this is Brian Jones from Valhalla Academy in Frankfort, Kentucky. And I'm here with James Shane of White Rabbit Tattoo and Art in Frankfort, Kentucky. And I appreciate you doing the interview with me.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about some issues related to grappling and tattoos, because I know that tattoos are popular with grapplers. I've got tattoos. A lot of my guys got tattoos. If you watch the UFC, you see tattoos. So why do you think, being in this, and James is trained a bit, so he kind of has his finger on the pulse of the grappling, and he watches the UFC and everything. And what are your thoughts on why tattooing is popular in this particular sport?
Well, I think one of the big things is just a self-expression, really. Like, like it's especially in a no-gi situation, the whoever's training really has the opportunity to express themselves regardless of what they're wearing or whatever the case may be. And, it's always been kind of a French culture type deal, and I guess it kind of equates itself to a lot of MMA and grappling people who are looking, I guess, for a little more excitement.
Okay, so you're saying the demographic, I think, is grappling is contact sport, MMA is a contact sport. It kind of draws a certain kind of person that has a little wilder side, or maybe is a little more experimental with their sports.
Absolutely.
They're not necessarily playing tennis; they're punching people in the face or choking people out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so makes perfect sense to me. I noticed a lot of guys, you were talking about expression too, a lot of guys are repping their academies, they're repping their teams, they want to get that stuff out there.
Oh,
I'm sure you've seen a lot of that as well.
And yeah, like a lot of certain teams, certain schools look at, emblems and just something that they're proud of, like I think in both, tattoo culture and MMA culture, it's very prevalent to be, I guess, proud.
Right. Well, if you spend, half your life doing something, or maybe even or even a few years doing something, you want to kind of put that mark on you.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to mark things and they do in their lives with tattoos.
It becomes a part of your identity as well,
Exactly. Okay, so here's a big question, and this is something that I am interested in, and I know a lot of the audience is going to be interested in. They're going to have tattoo work done.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that people are going to want to know about aftercare with tattoos and grappling? Because when should they go back to grappling? How long should they wait? Are there any special precautions to take?
Well, in grappling, there's a lot of bacteria on mats and on other people. You're going to be sweating. There's a lot of contact, and so on and so forth. So when you get tattooed, obviously it's an open wound, so you're more prone to infection. Cleanliness is paramount. And even in situations like, whether it be, grappling with a gi or without a gi, there's a lot of rubbing and contact and chafing. I'm sure, you're a stranger to getting canvas burns from,
Mat burn, gi burn,
Yeah, exactly.
Velcro burn, everything.
Exactly. And, like any damage to your skin is going to be any damage to your tattoo. I mean, especially while it's healing. And any possibility that you have of a raised scab or, an open wound is going to be a risk while grappling.
Okay. So definitely want to avoid infection. Hopefully your academy is keeping itself clean, but people are going to have bacteria. You can't avoid that stuff.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
can minimize it, but you can't avoid it. You want to take a shower,
Oh, absolutely.
So how long should somebody wait? Let's say I'm going to bring up three things. So let's say a lot of people get their work done in sessions. You go in a big piece. You might have some line work done. If you're going to do black and gray, you'll get some shading done.
Yeah.
and then maybe somebody's doing some color, some saturated color.
Yeah.
Are there any differences? Like, how long should a person wait? Let's say they go in, they get some work done that day. Like, how long would you recommend that they wait before they got back on the mat for each of those kinds of work?
I would, like, as a professional in the industry, I would recommend, obviously, for somebody to wait until their tattoo is fully healed, but if that's not necessarily an option, at least 2 weeks or a week and a half, depending on the artist and how heavily saturated the tattoo is. Like you said, line work, there's a possibility for, raised scabbing, of course, which for the, personal safety of the person grappling and for the integrity of the artwork, I think it'd be advisable to wait at least until the initial scabbing phase is over, and after that, even be, really reticent to, of course, depending on the area, any high contact or traffic areas that, whether it be the arms or the back or, the ankles or whatever the case may be. I think it's really just important to kind of keep it in mind throughout the healing process. But if there are any raised scabs on it, I would definitely recommend not grappling or really being reticent of any contact with that area.
Okay, so wait till it heals. That is good advice.
Yeah.
I mean, people will come back. They'll try to come back. I've seen guys grapple the day of a tattoo. They pull off the rash guard and they've still got the bandage on there.
On it.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm thinking that's not a good idea. Listen to this guy. Okay, he knows what he's talking about. Wait till your tattoo's healed. Don't get an infection. Don't mess up. You're going to drop a pretty penny for this work. So why would you go fuck it up? By getting on the mat too early.
Yeah.
Infection.
And there are later stages in the healing of the tattoo where it's dry and a little bit shiny, and that would be safer to grapple with. But when it's fresh, I mean, especially within the first 2 or 3 days where it's an actual open abrasion, it's really important to keep it clean and keep as little contact with that area as possible. I mean, like I said, for the safety of the client and for the integrity of the artwork, it's just really I think it's doing a service to everybody involved. Plus, you don't want somebody to grab onto your fresh tattoo and tap you out that way.
Tap out my tattoo. I like it. That said, let's. I think this is what I think you should do. Here's the thing: if you grapple a lot, you're gonna get injured. I'm sorry if you're a new grappler that you had to hear that from me. Wait till you get hurt and then get a tattoo. While you're healing, while your ankle, your knee, or whatever, your elbow's healing, your tattoo could be healing too.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know a lot of people do that. I've heard of that strategy. Because if you're training hard, wait till you get injured in the sport, and then that way you're not mentally completely destroyed by it. At least you have something to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. and you've also got the opportunity to just because you're not on the mat doesn't mean that you can't train in other ways. Also,
that's what I was going to ask you actually. So just exercise in general. Let's say the guy doesn't want to go and not go to the gym. He goes over there and maybe he does some kettlebell work or some jump rope or some jogging or some kind of activity that's involve contact with that area.
Yeah,
that would be okay.
It'd be okay, just as long as like after your workout, you take a shower, wash off your tattoo with antibacterial soap, and so on and so forth. Because of course your sweat kind of acts as a vehicle to push bacteria, into the tattoo. So just keep it nice and clean. If you have to, wear, loose clothing over it or whatever the case. Anything that's not going to change the road too much shouldn't be an issue.
Sounds great. Well, James, I appreciate it.
I appreciate
I'm
it.
here, this again, Brian Jones, from Frankfort, Kentucky, Valhalla Academy, and here at White Rabbit Tattoo and Art. If you're in the area, definitely check these guys out. And we'll probably do some more stuff on this as well, so stay tuned. If you like what you see, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I appreciate your watching. I'll see you next time.